So I've seen a lot of criticism lately on UFC 247, mainly the Reyes loss, quote unquote. And, a lot of this stems back. What I have to talk about here is Dana White. He's done an amazing job. I want to give him full credit. Took a company that was failing, had a couple buddies, invest in it, and he turned it into a mega business with the Ultimate Fighter, things he's done, buying up the Pride, Strikeforce, WEC, destroying his competition, all those things. Give him full credit. But the last few years, it seems like instead of being a promoter and someone who's building the sport, it seems like he is playing damage control for athletes that have poor behavior, break the law, and bad officiating or refereeing, or then it comes sort of with the territory. I mean, now he wants to go into boxing, do Zuffa boxing. I don't think it'll work. When he took over the UFC, there really wasn't competition in the United States, and they could do what they wanted to do and rule it with an iron fist. And it's worked. It won't work with boxing. There's too many powerful, things in place, and I don't think he can run it the same way the UFC's been run and prosper. So, that being said, his issues with, these judges, one of the things, because you're a promoter, you're forced into doing things and saying things that even you don't believe. And, I'm not trying to say I can speak for him, but he said, and I quote, yeah, the judging was all over the place, but who gives a shit? We're not judges, whatever. It's close to that. Well, I have a friend here in Vegas who's a bartender, and he bets all the fights, and he gives a shit. He bet a bunch of money on Dominic Reyes, and at the end of the fight, he's thinking, man, I just made myself, a lot of money. No, he bet. He's not a rich man, so betting $500 for him, $500 is pretty good money for him. So putting that down on Dominic Reyes to beat John Jones, at the end of the fight, he's waiting for the decision, waiting to take his, little ticket up and turn his $500 bet into, 27, whatever it's going to be, and put a couple $1,000. And he got that decision. I mean, he cares. I mean, I understand what Dana White was saying. He was saying it was a great fight. I mean, if you're just watching because you're a fan, that was a great fight. And it was. It was an entertaining fight. And it was, I think Reyes won 3-2. Most of what I've seen says Reyes won 3-2. But who cares are the people who bet on it. The people who put a lot into this, more at stake than just, oh, that was a good fight. And, when your job now seems like you're defending poor behavior of champions, and great champions. John Jones has been a great champion. But for a long time, there was a lot of defending, the sport, really, against running into a drunk lady, breaking her arm, and then running away, crashing his Bentley, and hiding from USADA, and failing drug tests, and all these things, and other fighters. Let's not get into that. Just one thing after another, though, of defending really the sport, the entire, and against this awful behavior. And I don't really think that's what he wants to be doing or what he planned to be doing when he took this over. He, in the early days, was just building the brand and did a great job. The Ultimate Fighter, things like that, just blew the sport up, and he got it sanctioned everywhere, even in New York, which, from what I understand, was a nightmare. But now, because it's popular and because there's so much money in it, you don't want to fight Conor McGregor or John Jones, or get these people who are going to sell pay-per-views and keep fans in the sport. You don't want to go out and go against them and create a different narrative. You want to be, no, he's a great champion, there's no, but people know that where there's smoke, there's fire, and, John Jones failed enough drug tests that no one's questioning whether or not he's cheating. Is he cheating now? Who knows? Who knows if they found a better way to hide it, or what's going on, or he quit, or he's clean. I don't know. I certainly have no idea. Did Conor McGregor actually sexually assault those women in Ireland? I don't know. But it's not good for the sport. The allegation isn't good for the sport. And, it's just something that it seems like it keeps falling on Dana White to defend them. When, in all honesty, he doesn't know. He wasn't there when these things supposedly happened. But because of being the UFC president, promoting the fights, and trying to keep this going, and having shows every week, it seems like, pretty much all year, most of the year, it falls upon him to defend them more than growing the sport at this time. And a lot of that's the money involved, a lot of that's, just the politics of doing business now, and still trying to stay above. There are other interests now out there that are promoting fights, and some of them are growing. And none of them are rivaling, taking over the UFC at all, but that could happen. It could happen, and so his job is to make sure that people's attention is focused, number one, on the UFC. If you're an MMA fan, you should be watching the UFC. Nothing wrong with watching all the other events as well, but number one's UFC. But his job is to keep it number one, and he's done an amazing job. I give him full credit for the job he's done. But it feels like what killed boxing is starting to creep into MMA and could kill the UFC, and that is poor judging. I remember when Pernell Whitaker fought Julio Cesar Chavez. Whitaker clearly won the fight. It was in Texas, and they gave it to Whitaker. The crowd was booing, and they said, "Oh wait, we counted wrong. It's a draw." That kills the sport. Meldrick Taylor was clearly winning, and I remember that fight, and it was stopped at 7 seconds left. He got dropped 7 seconds left. They couldn't have got back. He couldn't have been hit again. The referee stand there, walked to me. By the time he cleaned his gloves off, said, "Okay, you two," and Julio Cesar Chavez was in the far corner. If he said, "Okay, now you guys fight," the bell would have rung before they would have traded punches again. And he was winning the championship fight. That damages the sport. Things like that. People, you lost. That's okay. People lose. You move on. But when you cry about it, you lose your credibility. Dana White is doing a fantastic job, but I really do think he's going to have to start coming down on some of these people and putting a better morals clause in place. If you look all through it, you really look deep into it, there are a lot of guys in the UFC who have done things, and they shouldn't be really, I don't know if they should be fighting or not. I shouldn't say that, I guess, but I just feel like they're not representing the sport very well. And it's becoming incumbent upon Dana White to defend them more than he's working on promoting the UFC, and I think that's sad. And I hope it changes because it's a great sport. He's done a great job, but let's hope that in the future it becomes a better situation.